Okay, June 27th, 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting of the Floyd County Board of Supervisors to order. First item on our agenda is to approve our agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. If there are no changes necessary.
Okay. I'll second that.
I just, well, you can table when you get to the one on drainage 12. We're not ready for that, but.
Okay.
Very good.
You just table it then.
Move to approve the agenda as proposed.
And I'll second that. Moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Item 2, public comment. Seeing none. Item 3, review action regarding approval of June 13th, 2017 meeting minutes.
I reviewed those. I've moved to approve the June 13th meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve the June 13th, 2017 meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Item 4, review action regarding approval of claims.
I reviewed them. Did you see anything?
No? Any questions?
No. I've moved to approve the claims.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 5, review action regarding an application for Floyd County license for a fireworks permit. Is this the same as our?
This is the application form, not a specific person, just the form.
For the 4th of July fireworks? This courthouse grounds?
No, this is your application to, went over yesterday.
I read about it.
Oh, this is not a specific one. This is, okay. It was in our packet yesterday. This is for changing our fireworks permit application.
Yes.
Okay.
I read the minutes that were written about it and what was discussed or
language that Randy changed in our permit
You should have
application.
in this packet. That yellow highlights.
Okay.
We changed some wording in there, some definitions.
use of display fireworks instead of to conduct the fireworks display.
Yes, and that was only changed, it was in the minutes about to line up with what the code definition is for display fireworks.
I'll move to approve the third.
Okay.
You ready for a motion?
Yep.
I'll move to approve the application for Floyd County license for a fireworks permit.
Okay. Then moved and seconded to change our application wording for the Floyd County license for application for a fireworks permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 6, a review action regarding emergency management funding from the general basic fund. We're talking about our $50,000 transfer.
Correct.
Did we do it last year? Okay.
Yeah. And usually what you consider is fund balances and where they're at with budgets.
I talked to Leslie, it's that your fund balance is healthy now, not negative, but
Fund balance is $56,034.12.
and you also said that we haven't heard anything from the state of Iowa with that grant.
Yep, for my EMPG grant funds, they have not approved any of that yet, and no one knows if they will for this term or not. So-
Whether they will or whether it will come.
Right.
And that was 16,000?
It's 16 to 20 was what was applied for when, the beginning of the year, so.
Typically, it's come every year. There hasn't been years when they haven't. But,
Not that I'm aware of either.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So,
I don't know if they're just getting behind or if it's not gonna be
Yeah,
in there
there's
this year,
there's
so.
a cash crisis going on with the state right now. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Transfer?
Yeah, that was your discussion yesterday?
No, we didn't discuss that.
Oh. Yeah, that's, okay.
With that, I would make a motion that we transfer the $50,000 emergency management funding from the general basic fund to emergency management.
Second.
Okay, then moved and seconded to transfer the emergency management funding from general basic fund. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 7, review action regarding professional services agreement between Schneider Public and Floyd County regarding beacon pictometry connect view. And that was a discussion you missed yesterday. There was it was in the packet, but there was a cost that was overlooked or not seen. $1,000
$1,600.
for a hosting fee, and then from now on it's $600.
$1,000 setup fee and $600
Yeah.
hosting fee.
So the setup's just a one-time?
Beacon Snyder to put the pictometry on the website.
Mhm.
So,
That's something the conference board's already discussed, and I've heard from other counties how useful it is. So I would move to approve the professional service agreement with Schneider regarding, in Floyd County regarding beacon pictometry connected.
okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve the professional services agreement between Snyder and Floyd County regarding the beacon pictometry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 8, review action regarding approval of application for the use of Floyd County Courthouse grounds for the annual 4th of July celebration fireworks show. And that we have in our packet. It's Tim Lobby is the J&M representative and Mark Wicks is the chamber. Obviously, the insurance is in place over a check.
You have not required them to do the insurance in the past,
Okay.
so we went with that again.
Okay.
Question on that. So we did not require an insurance for the, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Given the past precedents of the terrible accident we had here once, why would we not want to require them to have insurance when we put fire supports out here?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's been,
It would seem like that would be very exceptional.
yeah, it's for the use of the lot. It's not for the display itself, so I don't know if that was the thought of
And they're using it, of course, for the,
setting them off. They're setting
what do
them
you
off.
think
They're
about
using
that?
And
That made
how long-
national news, and
It's never
a
been,
lot of people were injured on that.
so how many years has it been set up here? 4, 5, since that accident, right? Does that
It's always been an option to require the insurance. It's always been waived, so.
Is there insurance with, under the city's umbrella, the chamber? Or are we requiring insurance from J&M?
This you wouldn't require insurance from J&M because you don't have, they're not, well, I don't think, I don't know. You could ask the county attorney, but J&M probably is providing insurance
To the
for
chamber.
them. If something should happen, I would assume that they're making sure J&M has insurance and is holding them.
This, actually, the group is community revitalization. Are they insured through? Under the
Well,
city
they're insured.
insurance?
I don't know.
Let's call Mark. Yeah, we are gonna use the phone.
Let's see if the number.
2335.
228. 228.
228, okay.
Charles City Chamber Development and Revitalization will displace.
Carrie, this is Doug Cam, Board of Supervisors. Would
Yes.
Mark Wicks happen to be there?
I
Okay.
believe so. Hold on a minute.
Thanks.
Good morning, this is Mark. May I help you?
Hey, Mark, this is Doug Cam. We're in a Board of Supervisor meeting,
Yeah.
and we're talking about your application for the fireworks
Yes, sir.
for the courthouse grounds. We, apparently in the past, we've never required the additional insurance or a liability insurance.
Okay.
Is your insurance under the city umbrella?
No,
or-
we have our own.
Okay. Would there be an issue with you providing us a insurance policy?
Should be. Nope, I can send you a copy.
Okay.
A certificate of a liability, is that what you're asking for, Doug? Not just a copy? of
Well, on our
insurance?
application, it says a liability insurance policy naming the county as additional insured is required in the amount of at least $1 million at the time of the event.
Yeah, we can take care of that.
Okay. Well, we'll approve the permit upon receipt of that certificate.
Can do.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. By the way, it's gonna be the same as last year where they're gonna be shooting some of it in the courthouse parking lot, the 2-inch shells. They'll be shooting the 3-inch shells off the Main Street Bridge. And they do that inside of a box dumpster or a truck box. So it's got some sides to it.
Okay,
So it's contained that way. So not all the none of the 3-inch shells are actually shot from the courthouse parking lot. It's just the 2-inch shells.
okay. Thanks for
All
the,
right.
thanks for the
Thank you.
clarification. Thanks, bye.
All right, I'll move to approve the application pending the proof of liability insurance from the community revitalization of Charles City.
Okay, I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to approve the application for the Floyd County, or, excuse me, for the 4th of July celebration fireworks show in the Floyd County Courthouse parking lot upon receipt of liability insurance proof. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item 9, review action regarding setting a date and timeline for the annual cash count. We talked about this, we can either do it Friday afternoon at 4:30 or Monday morning. My personal preference is to do it Friday afternoon rather than a Monday morning, but
Frank did say if you do it Friday afternoon, it would have to be after 4:30. And Jeff Crooks said his staff preferred that it would be Monday morning. Linda said she didn't care either way. Either would work for her.
Deb,
Deb didn't care either way. If she just needs to know if you're going to do it Friday afternoon, she needs to close her office down earlier to get ready for it.
Monday,
Monday? Okay,
what time do you get usually?
8, that start
Okay.
before they start transactions of business.
okay.
So I'd probably start with Frank and then Deb and then
Okay.
go up to 4th since they open at 8:30.
I move to set the time at 8 o'clock on Monday, July 3rd for the annual cash count.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to set our annual cash count July 3rd at 8 o'clock. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 10, Review action regarding setting a date and time for the fiscal year 18 budget amendment. And we have a date in mind.
Yeah, so.
We'll do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I need to have this to the paper tomorrow. If you want to have it on July 11th, I need to have it to the paper tomorrow for publication no later than Friday. You could hold it the 11th, or you could hold it the 25th. I put 11th on the form, but it could be later. The only thing I put on the form in your packet is the retainage for the Beaver Creek Watershed Project. Other considerations that you might have would be the Hummel property. If you want.
That was another thing coming up yesterday. We now have the tax deed certificate.
Yeah,
for that.
I rolled a deed. So Jeff's budget is not a large budget. So if you want to amend that, I did visit with him and he said he would hope that it wouldn't be as much as 10,000 to abate the issue, but so if you want that in there, I just need to plug a number in for that.
Do we need to have that in? Oh, you need it in for the paper
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, if you want to amend, it's gotta be in there. You could, so you could put a dollar amount in, and then if you wanted to take it out, or you wanted to reduce it, you could do it, but you couldn't add it to it. And then the other item was a conservation pickup. Adam is purchasing a conservation pickup. This came about, he submitted a claim to pay for half the vehicle, but I visited with him about you can't do that. You
They have half of the money, half of the vehicle budgeted this year. So you and I talked, it would just go back in the general fund and then we
Goes
would
back in the general.
put it back in there because they have half of the ticket budgeted next year.
He said the pickup isn't even available yet. He said it's a 2018 vehicle and
Like
it'll
we
be,
talked, that was kind of a holdover from the old days when they used to.
Doug used to do that,
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not proper to do that. So he's aware of that, and he has, it's not like Jeff's budget, he has a larger budget, he could absorb it, but the vehicle is 29,000, 29,000, something like that. So if you, I told him, I said quite possibly the board could add the 14,000 that he's not spending in this budget, since we're amending in July. Possibly you might consider putting that 14,000 in there for the July, in the amendment for July. But the commission, I understand, has approved the purchase of a vehicle. He was either just going to hold on to the check or send him the check, couldn't tell the rest, till the vehicle became available, but I said that's just not appropriate to do that. For various reasons.
So if you put that on there for that long, you think you're safe?
But no, I think so. According to
You want to
Jeff,
need 9,000 for the conservation pickup,
14,000 is what they had budgeted.
so you only put the 14.
I didn't put anything, I was waiting for your direction on how you wanted me to put it in. All I put in that sheet there that you've got is the 35,000 for the retainage, for the coal work on the Beaver Creek Watershed project. So I will put in whatever number you would like. If you would like me to put 10 in for the Hummel project and
I would say so, it's not going away.
14 for conservation, I can sure do that. I just need to
I
know
would
so I
say
can
that's a-
publish tomorrow.
Huh?
I just need to know so I can publish tomorrow. Again, you could put the 14 in for the conservation vehicle, if you decide you want to lower it, or,
That's the
reduce it
number that he
totally.
has, 14,000.
That's what was in
Okay.
this year's budget.
Okay. Yeah, I would be agreeable to that.
Aye.
And then your date, just, I plan to cut the check for, or I'd like to cut the check for the Beaver Creek watershed retainage for the July 11th claims, so you could, as long as the hearing is in the same month, you could either then do the hearing either the 11th or the 25th. But it's ready, other than adding those 2 extra numbers in, it's ready for publication, so if you would like to do it the 11th, that'd be great.
What date would you like?
The 11th,
July 11th
July 11th.
at 9:15.
Yep, that would be great.
I'll move to set the amendment to the county's fiscal year 18 budget for 9:15 a.m. here in the boardroom on July 11th.
Do you need to cover these 2 additions also?
No,
Okay. All right, I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to set the county fiscal year 18 budget amendment July 11th at 9:15 in the Lake County boardroom. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item 11, review action regarding resolution for the fiscal year 17, fiscal year 18 county budget appropriations.
I move to approve resolution 2717 appropriating 100% to all county departments.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 27-17 concerning county appropriations. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 12, review action regarding resolution for public purpose service by county expenditures for economic development.
this is a requirement by the auditors, and this, I just follow it under what you've appropriated for budgets, and this is just, auditors want to know that you have, anything that you've put in your budget for economic development type purposes are intended for that, and that this is just kind of an acknowledgement that you recognize that you are making purchases for economic, or budgeting for economic development purposes.
I would move to approve resolution 28-17.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 28-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 13, review action regarding fiscal year 18 wage/salary certifications of county employees.
All of the wage certifications have been turned in.
Yeah, there, okay.
No, it's so many that
Okay.
they didn't do that. Most of them are at the 2.75% increase. Some have others, like conservation, there's a couple of catch-ups on conservation. County Attorney's Office is allowed a 16.73% increase for the Assistant County Attorney. I've got the 4% in for Amanda along mine. I did just have to cross through a little bit of mine. Just yesterday, the board noted that Sarah Knoll had accepted the DCAT position, and shortly after the meeting, I received a call from her that she's withdrawing her acceptance. So we're back at the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board again?
Yeah, yeah. The child support recovery, the state has frozen their wages, with the exception she has 2 people who are getting a 1% increase based on an adjustment that was allowed for their budget. The assessor's office, Gary's getting a 3.5% increase, Brandy's getting a 9.01% increase, and Heather and Jewel are getting a 3% increase. Otherwise, of course, treasurer and recorder are getting a 2.41% increase based on the board recommendations. And that would trickle to their deputies. And I think Bob Lincoln, nothing's been proposed yet for his county social services, makes that recommendation. And so I don't know where that stands. I know county social services had a meeting on Thursday. I don't know if that's something. So what you're certifying today is the same salary of $101,845, no increase. So if you'd like to see those, they are here, but they are all as planned from the budget process.
I would make a motion to approve the fiscal year 18 wage salary certification for county employees.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve fiscal year 18 wage salary certifications for county employees. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 14, review action regarding resolution for an interfund transfer from general basic fund to secondary road funds.
Good time.
Is that time again?
This is the one we're gonna cut, right?
Cut, wait a minute.
We have 2917 in our packet. It is $103,732 from the general basic fund to the secondary road fund for taxes collected.
I trust you with the numbers. I didn't have anything with me.
I cut it by 50.
They've done that before.
We got a long memory.
These are what we're budgeted.
We got a long memory.
I would make a motion to approve resolution 30-17.
29-17.
Yeah, either, they're both of them need
What's the
approved, so.
difference?
One's general fund for secondary roads, one's rural services for secondary roads.
Which one do you want?
Both of them, but if you want to do them in order, it'd be 29-17
Okay, we'll do it that way.
Either way, doesn't matter to me if you're.
No, resolution, I move to approve resolution 29-17.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 29-17, interfund operating transfer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Now, resolution 30-17, which is transfer monies from the rural service basic fund to the secondary road fund, which is a little larger, $1,131,009.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve resolution 30-17.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 30-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item 16, review action regarding drainage district number 26 assessments.
36?
26 and 30.
Oh, okay.
26.
Oh, I don't have, I got one of the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, have in your packet, a claim on 26. This was from, this is the one that we weren't aware of what happened, that a bill was submitted from Pop Farm, but you checked in to see what that one was about, so it was kind of briefly talked about at a previous meeting, and It was for, there was two bills, actually there were three bills. One was for lateral 2, one was for lateral 3A, and then one was just for secondary roads. Don't trust me, they're given to me. And so they're both laterals 2 and both of those laterals have
2 and
no
3A.
funds. Yeah, neither of them have funds, so you would need to cover all of that with an assessment and any additional that you might want to cover for anything in the future.
They be done separately, or are they both in the same one?
You could do them in one motion if you wanted to. You won't need, well, depending on what you want to assess,
You need a minimum.
typically you could spread if it's, what's that?
You need a minimum of $600 to cover both of them.
You have to do the motion, you have to do the assessment for lateral 2 and an assessment for lateral 3A. You can do that in one motion, but just tell me, you know, like for example, a motion to assess lateral 2A for $500, and a motion to, and you could either do a separate motion or another motion to assess lateral 3A of Drainage District 26, $500.
Interest rate of 5% and a
No, you
spread.
don't even need to worry about it because it's under, if no one person is gonna have the $500 assessment, and they can only waive if it's, their assessment's over 500. So you don't need to worry about that in this one anyway.
Okay. So with that, I'll make a motion that we assess Drainage District number 26 with a $500 assessment on lateral 2, and Drainage District number 26 lateral 3A with a $500 assessment. That's all we need there.
Second?
Okay, so moved and seconded to assess Drainage District 26, lateral 2 with a $500 assessment, lateral 3 with a $500 assessment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item 17, review action regarding Drainage District number 36 assessments. And this is the one that everyone Johnson is going to talk to us about.
So this one, the bill is $995. There is a $238.78 balance in the account. So you basically need to assess $1,000.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm not sure if there's any that would be 500 alone, so just to cover it, you might put the 5% interest for 10 years.
Okay. I'd make a motion to approve drainage assessment of $1,000 in Drainage District 36 at an interest rate of 5%. And we normally do the spread of 10 years.
Okay, been moved and, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve an assessment to Drainage District number 36 of $1,000 with a 5% interest rate and a spread of 10 years. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item 18, review action regarding Drainage District number 12 fund transfer and assessments. And we talked about this earlier, we're not ready for this one.
Yeah, this one, this is the one that we're working, Amanda's working a lot on this one. We've been working with the treasurer's office. This is one that back in September, so Frank had to do some transfers, and those were done with best of our information that we had at the time when those assessments were done. But now we've got some better information from INS, the engineer, to what had happened internally. All the property owners were assessed correctly. internally, we've got to do some transfers because the division was based on everyone being assessed a prorated amount of the total project, but the construction of the cost of the project should have only been through a main and a couple of laterals, but everyone got, internally, everyone had that entire cost. So we just have some internal transfers that we're working on. It's just very convoluted because it's bills that we're looking at back to 2011, and since that district had never been reclassified, we've got, everything went to one fund, and after the reclassification, now we have several funds, and so it's a bit of a...
Other 12 was the one that did get reclassified.
They did, but
Okay.
we can't, but as the bills were coming through, we didn't know what the reclassification schedule was going to be, so all of the bills came out of the old fund, and until that reclassification is done, you don't know how much each main or lateral would get, and you set up new mains and laterals for every one of them, and so then it's just shifting around from what was in the old to the new and paying off the old, and so we've got spreadsheets that could probably wrap around this room almost with what we're working on to clear it up, so.
Regardless, we're gonna take it.
Yeah, and we got, we're so close to our hope originally was to have it done before the end of the fiscal year, but just to make sure, we just kind of find little more things to kind of consider as we're trying to figure out the adjustments, and it's like, well, we're so close to a fiscal year end, let's just get a new month-end report and see where they're at with interest and all of that. It potentially maybe we may come to you and ask you to waive some interest on those as well.
I will make a motion to table item 18, review and action regarding Drainage District 12 fund transfer.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to table action regarding Drainage District number 12. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 18, review action regarding resolution to change the weight restrictions for bridges in Floyd County.
Yeah, you don't have it, do you?
Unless you emailed it to me yesterday.
I got it, you can just fill it in or whatever.
Okay. You wanna
Basically,
tell them about it?
yeah, there's the two bridges. One is the one that is a mile north of the fairgrounds, and then right around the corner to the west. That one is recommending closure. That one is scheduled in the program, which is good, and that's the one that's going to be done not next summer, but summer after. So it's going to be a year or two. It'll be down a year and a half, basically, almost 2 years, I guess. But that one is in the program to get replaced. Severely decayed pile, abutment, and piers.
I stopped looking at it one day, it's in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, it's not very good. I'm surprised it hasn't really fallen in. And then the other one is up north on called Stricker's Bridge, I believe. It's up between sections 20 and 21. Right up here, I'll point it out. Right. Where the heck am I at? Hold on, I got my sheet right here.
Section 21, Township 97, range 16.
Yeah, it's going to be, oh, it's right there. It's north of the railroad tracks. I think it's on Ocean right there. Anyways, it's got less pile in the pier on that one, and the pile's decayed. We're in the process of talking to Calvin Burns, who does the inspection on them, and we're talking about going up there and encasing the whole pier with concrete to see if we can get that weight restriction maybe not this light. Because that's been the problem in the whole thing, is the middle pier pile. So. But for right now, this is a process we typically do when we change weight limits. We have to pass a resolution
Is
to
that the one
enforce
just
that.
south of that Mitchell County Bridge? It was one lane for a long, long time, the one right on the county line?
Yep, around the corner from it. Yep.
That was just going to 3 ton, what is it now?
It's a 6-ton going down to 3-ton. We're going to see if we can do
Been
something there to
restricted
make it some
anyway.
repairs. Yeah, it's been restricted already, so. So I was just recommending going with the closure on the one and the lighter weight limits down to 3 ton on the other one.
Okay.
You want to number it?
3117.
Okay. I would move approval of resolution 31-17 regarding the lowering of tonnage and removal of a bridge.
Closure.
Closure.
Closure of the bridge, yeah.
Good.
Okay. I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 31-17, which is the closure of one bridge and the tonnage restriction on another bridge. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You want me to sign that?
Do you want those bridge numbers in? Yeah, actually, I think we'll both sign and then I'll put absent for.
Yeah, either get the original or the copy.
the original.
Get it in and then she got it.
She's down this week, but I don't know if she was there last
I
week.
emailed it like Friday, or maybe it was that.
Item 20, review action regarding purchase of 2 vehicle for the engineering department.
Basically, this is the 2 orange trucks that Dwayne and Brian have down there have about 260 to 280,000 miles on them. They've been on their last. And this is scheduled in my budget. It was presented and passed for after July 1st. They're going to be very similar to my truck, which is out there. It'll be the gray color. And this is state bid, similar to what we've done a lot of all of our pickup trucks, because the state bids are the best price basically for what you can purchase for vehicles. And the vehicle price for, it'd be, like I said, it's a truck just like mine, would be the $26,230.45. But that is state bid price, so. So I mean, I just need recommended approval. I recommend doing it per my what's budgeted for them. They've had these orange trucks for quite some time, and it's time to move on.
It's 26,230.45 each.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Originals on top.
I
Thank you.
move the approval of the purchase of 2 trucks for the subdivision.
I'll second that. Been moved and seconded to approve purchasing 2 vehicles for the secondary road department, engineering department. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Discussion with the county engineer about secondary road activities.
There's just a time sheet in this.
You see lots of.
Contract rock, Bob did a big, they started that's been going on. The southeast corner of the county should be finishing up here pretty soon, by the end of this week, I would think. And then they'll move on for wherever they're gonna go next. I'm not sure which direction they're going, but southeast part of the county at least will be complete. Bridge project over on 220th, which is, that's basically the deck pour was done and the open rail was poured. So basically they'll be pulling, they dropped the deck already and moving forward with removal of everything that they need. And then the dirt work will start on that bridge. So basically right now it's about 90% completed. So get that thing opened up here in the next month or so. Paving on T26, the whole removal of the old pavement is gone. There's some soft spots out there, but I don't know if you guys have driven it, if you have the luxury of driving down there. It's kind of, it's amazing, you drive down that road and you can see where every one of the joints were in the old asphalt. You can see where those joints are in the subgrade below. It's holding up, sorta-ish. We've got some, we've had some rains and stuff like that, which I mean, but there's a couple soft spots, so you just gotta be careful when you're doing this. Reminds me of a bad frost boil year on a gravel road is what it is. You come up down there in the south end, down by Dale Parcher's, there's a couple spots there that are pretty bad that we'll have to core out and replace. But as of tomorrow, yesterday and now today, they subbed out what's Cole Excavating doing the dirt work, and they subbed that out to another company just for the driveways. And so they're, because Cole's a little behind wherever they're working, they subbed out, doing all the driveway replacements to Southern Company. They should be starting that as we're speaking. So get all the driveways, new culverts put in, everything redone there. And then after that, I'm assuming Cole will come in and start removing topsoil and doing their grade work that they have to, so. It's not bad road, I mean, we're getting people in and out of there to their houses, so that's good. I said the road base is better than I thought it was really ever gonna be.
It's typical of those roads were built. They didn't strip any grass off, they just took
Yeah.
black dirt. Everything
Made the
from
ditches,
those
made their
roads.
subgrade and
I mean,
whatever.
I've been into them and seen remnants of trees, and they buried everything in them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But they were made for a horse and buggy, they're never made for 80,000 pound son.
Right. It's amazing when they milled off the first 3 inches, I talked to a few people along there after that, and they're like, just leave it like that, it's great, it rides so smooth. Like years ago, and I'm like, it's really not giving us shoulders, and really, it'll get worse, it'll deteriorate more even as it goes, so. A little bit of design work still on Road North, the ethanol plant, that, we delayed that to a November lighting right now, we're just working on some details for that, where the tin whistle culvert is underneath. Trying to get the extra right of way to extend that out so that we can, trying to eliminate putting guardrail at that place. But we may have to, but I don't like having to put guardrail if we don't have to, so we're gonna work with, try to work with the landowners, get a little extra right of way to extend that out far enough so that we don't have to worry about that.
Are you
Everything
gonna
else-
extend that pipe in there yourself, day labor?
Yeah, yeah. That's one of my 300 ones I put in there. We had to purchase the materials to expand that out, 1 panel for sure, and whatever, it's not gonna be cheap. But the thing itself is in pretty good shape, you go underneath there, it's really good. So. And then, other things which I know we talked about a couple weeks ago, regarding the drainage issue on 190th. If you get a chance, I did on the Y drive, I went over there Thursday after we had the 1 inch of rain Wednesday night, or early Thursday morning. I took some pictures, there's water on the field. Be honest with you, the water comes into that ditch, it's going into the inlet, and it's going out the outlet, it's going on the south ditch, and it's going west. I can't really say much more than that. The only other thing I did add in there, which I did notice and you see in my pictures, is that his back, very top of his back slope is a little higher than the field, so hence why you see water out in the field. So really, if you wanted to come skim the top off, it might get in that ditch a little better to get in there. But the pictures in there show water going in the inlet and out the outlet and out. So I guess you met with Ralph out there, and it just, I'm really at a loss right now. I'm not really going to plan on doing anything at this point. So, and then the other issues which will be on the agenda for the 11th is the drainage district out by the ethanol plant.
Yeah.
So Bill Dillon will come in, I guess, talk what he is concerned with. I guess I know.
Do you
I'm-
have a map of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, yeah, and the thing about that, I mean, not just this one, I mean, it's not an agenda, but more generalities. We're doing a lot of these repairs, when the repairs are showing up, when there's a hole in the ground and the tile's blown. But when it gets to the extent that, and Bill's comment was, is that, well, the water's in that waterway. Well, I'm not gonna go out there and start digging up every main and everything to see if it's working. That's not the intention of secondary roads, I don't believe. But if he thinks it's undersized or something, then that's a whole different venue, where we get, just like we've done with these other drainage districts.
There is a tile that goes up that waterway though?
Yeah,
That is part of the drainage district?
correct,
Okay.
yeah.
You've said different times about
Yeah,
drainage, secondary roads. We had a District 2 meeting and drainage was brought up, districts were brought up, and Franklin County hires an engineering firm. And anytime there is, someone comes in with an issue, they come to the auditor's office, sign a work order in the auditor's office, and that work order says that this engineering firm will be used, and if they find that that it's not a part of the district tile, that you will be billed and subject.
we were out there repairing some out there by the ethanol plant, and none of these turned out to be any of the mains or the laterals. So all we do is we open them, okay, and then we just, the best we can do is repair them back, and they're not even ours. So I'm eating those bills. I'm not even giving them to the drainage district. And these are not even a foot deep out here somewhere.
There's not something that's gonna go away, they're not getting younger, they're just getting older.
Right, and that's why I said Bill needs to come in and talk, because I could go up there and meet Bill, but it's not really gonna do me any good, because the ground's there, there's no hole, and where the mains were, we've gone out and fixed those, but then outside of that, now I'm doing a wild goose chase on some of these that he
Right.
thinks is a concern, so.
Right.
He needs to come talk to you guys, is all it comes down to. So,
Yeah, there are some counties that, I think Hancock is one, but they actually have an employee. I think it's a part-time, one of them is a retired supervisor, and another one's a retired engineer that actually oversees some of that stuff, and that's a billable
Yeah. This one,
thing, you know. And the other thing they do is when you're hiring private people, they make sure that the standards are upheld for
Sure.
the work that's being done, and that's, I've talked to Calvin about that before. You know, I'm not in favor of using secondary road for that, because you're gonna get stuck with a lot of that stuff, but it's one way to make sure that the standards are upheld for that.
one of the things we've been doing too, just because wherever is B60, we've been shouldering that. We had a lot of fill where that day labor project where we put the tanker cars in. We had a bunch of fill to the east of there. That was from Highway 14, I believe, when they tiled that. They allowed them to just dump it there. Well, it was in the way now that we got the tanker cars in there. So we've been hauling that fill down to B60 to widen some of that. So that's one of those, we have dirt, we'll do it, but.
How many years would it take enough fill to do that whole entire B60? I mean,
Well,
there's a,
And I know I've called in before and warned you guys about that hill there on
East of
Nix's.
14, yeah.
And then a semi went over it and nearly rolled completely and probably about killed the driver. And I mean, it's a really sensitive spot, so I think what we should do is prioritize the stretches that are most dangerous and could use the fill the most.
Yeah. The problem with that is the extra right of way and the hill is so high there, I know what you're saying. And
Yeah, well, even if we just had a few feet so that when vehicles come over the hill and your lights are shining in their eyes, if you need to get over more with a tractor and implement, that we gotta have somewhere to go. And then, I've been in those instances before where there's a car coming at you
Yeah.
and you don't have room.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Ethan Voorhees.
Okay, because we're being taped.
That's fine.
But, yeah, there's definitely stretches out there, a lot of the road, and that's why T26 north of Marble Rock is what it is right now. We're lowering the grade to widen it to then build it back up, but
Right.
that, again, that's a $3.5 million project. And stuff, so I mean, some of it costs money, you know. That's one of the downfalls, and a lot of counties have that, and I have it in both counties, is a lot of the roads were built with no shoulders.
Right.
Requirements were different back then, and now you try to get into, and you have to do anything like we do on T26, then I have to meet those requirements, get wider shoulders. But it only costs money.
Right.
I don't have anything else you got, just coming. Ready for the 4th, and I'll be here and there and wherever.
When it comes to, you got a lot of work to do to get ready for rag break? Just extra people?
Sort of, but not really. I mean, we basically did in town in Rockford, a little bit there. They asked us, they wanted to borrow our Durapatcher. We did it with our guys because we're just used to doing it. Outside that, we'll be patching, rocking, edge running, and then right before they come, we'll be out there with the broom at every intersection. Most of our stretches are over there pretty good because B57 east of town was redone not too long ago. West on 14 is what it is. The Rockford Road's not crazy bad. Probably west of Rockford, that stretch by the Fossil Prairie Park, is probably the worst part of the roads that we have that they're riding on. So we'll do some, like I said, they've been in contact with me, and Bob Kruger, who's the local bike rep or whatever, been every week basically getting a hold of me, and I'm like, I understand that. I said, but I'm not going to go out there now. Well, we've been doing minimal stuff now, but I'm not going to do the major stuff till the week before. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Guys need something? I'm gonna plug along with Frankie's Bridge still. That'll be letting and constructed next summer. So.
I've got a few questions for you, and again, a minute. I was hoping to address them here with the board. I mean, I know I've addressed them in the past.
Are you secondary roads?
Well, I wanted to see if I ever got scheduled with the Drainage District number 2. My questions and concerns.
We'll let you talk under public comment. We'll go back to that. That's usually at the beginning of our
Yep.
meeting, but we'll let you talk.
For my absentee, I mean, I didn't quite make it here on time, so
Okay.
I appreciate that.
So your questions are?
Well, and so Dustin here had designed the box that was constructed over top of the fractured limestone. And you know, I had documented that for several years. And I guess my question for Dustin is, anybody ever inspected that since it was constructed?
It's not mine. Basically, I did the drawing of it. I wouldn't say design of it. And that was designed probably by a previous engineer, Lyle, and I don't know if he designed anything
Yeah.
specific on that. I just did a drawing.
Yep.
So that's not necessarily.
Well, and that was
design.
in '06, and it happened to '09, and so I know that it was nothing that you really did.
Right, no, yeah.
You know, and so I farm and have farmed 2 pieces of land within the district, and you know, I check in the records. I don't think the district's ever properly petitioned for anybody but the supervisors to run it. You know, and so my problem is that I get poor drainage. There's blowouts in the line currently. There's been blowouts in the line ever since it was constructed. You know, assessing. I went to school with Iowa State to become a certified drainage engineer. You know, and so even before I became an expert, you could clearly see that it was solid limestone from when they constructed it, and we're not getting the drainage that we should. You know, and I don't know, do I need to petition the board to get somebody to inspect it, to see if it is working?
And you're asking me, you're not asking the right
Well,
person.
and I guess, at this point, I'm asking the board, do I
Because
need?
it is a trustee district, which it still falls back on. We've been through this years ago.
Yep.
With your dad and everything, and
Correct.
the court case and all that. And to me, it goes back to the board of supervisors, which in turn, whether something has to
The
be
district
inspected, it goes back to,
trustees
it goes to the district trustees first. And then from there, I mean, I've got drainage, we've got drainage issues, because technically they're not mine, I just do repairs out there, that is not even a trustee one, that it goes to the nearest road and outlets, and then the people that are downhill take the water.
And that's,
Because if you're downhill, you take the water.
right, and that's fine, but as a landowner within the district, my landlord, at this point, should be entitled to fair drainage, and we're not getting that. You know, and so the outlet is built over a single hole, and it's not even over the hole. The hole is on the outside of the structure. And I can testify to this, I have testified to this. There's surface inlets in it, which have all been illegal. I mean, there's a sewer hook to it, for crying out loud.
Again, you're not,
Right.
you're
Well,
not,
and
you're
I know-
approaching the right people, I don't
Well,
think.
and I guess
I'm just
what I'm
telling you
saying
that
is
you
I
do
want to
not.
be on the schedule, and that's why I sent you that PowerPoint presentation with a lot of the photos. The videos speak more than a million words, you know, if photos speak 1,000.
We're not gonna get into a lot of discussion here, but I've been down
Yeah.
there with your dad and you.
Yep.
And looked at that. You need to start with the district, with the trustees.
Right, and I have, and you know what they've done? In the 9 years since, 0. They've done 0. So I have started with them. I mean, this has been a long road, but the fact of the matter is we have a public safety hazard out there. We all do. I mean, we live here, we drink the water, right? So it's our problem, and it's, somebody's gonna have to spank them, because it's wrong. You know, and I want this to be a formal issue. I want to be on the schedule. I just want to know what day we're going to be putting it on. Because I'm going to be here and I'm going to bring my evidence and I'm going to show you that there's still a problem out there. I'm going to clearly demonstrate it. It was never addressed in the courts. I've been down to Jeff Sherman. I've asked him 3 or 4 times to go out and fix the sewer issue. He says, well, there's one house that hasn't been inspected and that's the one you told me it had to be. Well, I can show you all the evidence that shows you the house that it is, that's never been inspected. So is that my problem with Jeff? Or, I mean, who's going to ultimately say, hey, Jeff, get out there and get it done?
Jeff works for the Board of Health, maybe you could go to the Board of Health.
Well, and so I shouldn't have to ask how many times, though, is the problem. I should ask Jeff once, and Jeff should go out there and say, hey, I represent the Board of Health, I understand there's a sewer hooked up to this, let's get it fixed. You know? And I've got all the evidence to clearly show it. I've worked with Jeff. I just want to see things get done. You know, I'm not saying that anything's changed. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I just want things to get fixed. I don't want nobody to actually get spanked, literally. We got to take care of the issue. It's a public safety issue.
Okay, I'll talk to Jeff Sherman about that and see if it's an appropriate Board of Health. My advice would be to talk to your trustees of that drainage district.
Possibly the county attorney could help them with the drainage district trustee issue.
Well, and they just never respond.
And if it's appropriate and somebody tells us that, we'll put it on a future agenda. Otherwise, I don't think it's a supervisor issue right now.
Not at this point, probably not.
Well, and so I don't, like I've said, I've never seen the petition. I've never seen a petition to relieve the supervisors of their jurisdiction. I've never seen it. It doesn't exist. Is it in the file? I just looked at 2 weeks ago, June 5th. I was in here and looked, and it was not in the file. It's never been in the file. Not since '09,
And I think,
not since.
I think ever since, I mean, it goes to the trustees first, and then from there, it may go to the supervisors, which is what the whole thing was 10 years ago, whatever it was.
Right.
And to me, though, if your issue is and this is speaking as the engineer, not the county sanitarian,
Yes.
so I can't speak for Jeff.
Correct.
Sounds like Doug will talk to Jeff in this case on that issue, but if there are tile that are exposed and breaking and releasing things, like I said, 30 other districts in the county outlet into a ditch, and then guess what? The water goes downhill to the downstream
And
landlord.
that's fine, and I'm not arguing that it doesn't have to.
Okay, so your concern probably is the county sanitarian then.
Well, and the fact that we have an exposed hole out there taking surface water, yeah, I guess it is. But my point is that there has to be a petition to relieve the supervisors of their power to regulate it. It's never happened. So who do I gotta talk to? Because this is why we ended up in court. Because they said, well, we don't regulate it. And then the trustees did. When we finally brought a lawsuit, the county said they were in charge of it back in 2009. And since 2009, a petition has never been drafted or written.
Ethan, you're preaching to
submitted.
the choir here, I understand
Well, I
that.
understand that.
So I think Doug has addressed your concerns, and I can't speak for
Well, I'm in the right
supervisors.
place. I don't need to talk to the drainage district anymore. I need to talk to supervisors.
Well, then,
I'm here. That's
You've
why I'm
already said
asking
that.
to be put on the agenda.
you said it for the last 5 minutes. So Doug basically said it'll be on the
I'll
agenda.
go talk to Jeff and
Well, he's gonna talk to Jeff and then he'd see if it needs to be on it, if they make the recommendation, is what he said. And my point though is it needs to be. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. It's been 10 years of pollution, and 10 years before that. I mean, I've got the letters where they said, we're gonna fix this in '99, and 10 years later, they finally fixed it. That's 20 years of pollution into our drinking water. For what? So somebody can't just pick up the gavel and say, this needs to get done?
I'll worry about your county road. You're talking to the wrong person here. You're staring at me and saying that.
Well, so
Ethan,
those
I have nothing to
culverts-
do with it.
Those culverts on B60 are still undersized and could be improved. Can we get those improved? Since we've improved all the other ones above us? I mean, I've asked you about that.
Culverts on B60,
Yeah, B60 right before
In
you
the
get to
driveways?
Forest Creek. Yeah, that washes out our driveway almost every year.
they're not your driveways, by the way. They are the county's driveways. So if they do gush out, then I repair them.
Well, can you please fix them? Because it's
They're
too
not
steep to
wrong
get
with
our, they're too steep to get our equipment down. I've jackknifed our tractor and our semi tanker because it's too
Then
steep,
you
because
can-
all the rock is washed off. Because there's too much water trying to go through those two culverts.
So we repair the culverts as they are originally designed. If you have bigger equipment, if you want to extend the driveways, you can purchase equipment or purchase more culvert to extend the driveways at your expense. Once those driveways are widened, so you wouldn't have to worry about jackknifing or such like that, then they become the property of the county.
Okay?
But until that time, any driveway, there's small ones out there that were built in 1950 and 1940, 1930 are small driveways because the equipment was smaller back then.
Right.
People nowadays, I have 1 million permits come through, or hundreds of permits that come through every year, Ethan. If you want a wider driveway, you can go through the permit
I
process.
don't want a wider driveway. I want a driveway with the appropriate amount of slope to come off the road into the
Then
field.
if you want to widen or do that, you can get a permit to do that, and I'll allow
But
it.
the
And then once
culverts
it's
need to
done,
be resized at the same time.
that is for my concern to worry about, and if it washes out, then we're concerned about it. We'll look at the drainage and do with that.
I've said it's already happened. And you haven't come out and looked at it.
I have too looked at it. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you, Ethan. I've been through this 100 times.
Why haven't we got them fixed?
They're working just fine, are they not? I can't,
No,
every time.
they're not. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying, they're not. It washes over, it washes into our field, and it washes out the driveway. There's two culverts on the opposite side of the road, and no water goes through them because the tile that was under the road got taken out when they redid the road and surfaced it. You know? There's an
I don't need
opposite
to
side
sit
of
here
the
and argue
road.
with you, Ethan, anymore.
Right,
I
no.
don't.
I mean, I know what I'm talking about, and I can say that there's a problem there, and I don't feel like it's ever been addressed.
all of these concerns, there are appropriate ways to handle it.
I agree.
You just need to figure out how to.
I've tried. I've tried, that's why, he said I've been there, I've talked to you. And I don't feel that the issue has ever been addressed. He just says, well, there's not a problem. They work. They don't work. You try to put 20,000 acres of tile water and runoff water through two 30-inch culverts. And yet we go upstream and take half of that, and we got 3 or 4 bridges on Highway 14. And all that water that has to go through those bridges that need to be improved have to go through two 30-inch tiles. Tell me how that makes sense.
If you take out your retention dike along the back slope, that would probably allow the water to get to the river where it should go.
Why does it have to go out?
You don't want it in your field.
Right, well, I don't, and it's causing damage. And all we need to do is put in an improved culvert and it would flow, because what happens is all the corn stalks float off the fields and
Off
they
your
plug
field?
them. Not off my field, the neighbor's field, where it runs
Right.
through the waterway.
I mean, this is enough. This is a pointless argument
Right.
that's been going on
It is.
and on.
Well, the point is that
You're
it doesn't
allowed to
work.
do this under public comment. I just told you that there are numerous ways to solve this problem.
Right.
We've given you all the venues, go through that.
I just don't feel like anybody's actually
If you
listening.
wanna pursue this drainage issue, you need to get legal counsel, whether it be the county attorney or a private issue.
Well, I think the
That's all you
law
need to
is that I
pursue.
can just petition
That-
the
We're gonna move on
members.
to item, depending on
All right, so is there a day that you can give me that I'll be on the agenda, so that I know to plan for it?
No, there is not. We will talk, I'll talk to Jeff Sherman, I'll talk to the county attorney, and we'll see if that's an appropriate agenda item. I
Yeah.
do not believe it is right now.
One more quick question, what day is the public livestock ordinance scheduled to be reheard?
I believe that will be on our agenda at our next workshop meeting.
Next Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys.
The only reason it hasn't been on this week is because Linda was on vacation. So, item 22.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that. We are adjourned.